The Nazis made the mistake of incarcerating the most persistent Allied escapers all together in one prison. Colditz was believed by the Germans to be escape-proof.
When the Dutch group arrived at Colditz Castle, we realized that it would be a difficult job to get out of this one.
But Colditz was built to stop attackers getting in, not to prevent escapers getting out. 300 prisoners from different nations were held in the castle.
I would say that the type of escapes which each nation preferred reflected the national characteristics. For the French, ingenious, subtle camouflage.
They built a radio, crucial for listening to the progress of the war, out of parts hidden in cakes and French bread.
And for the British, dogged perseverance.
Food was also part of the Great British Plan. In the top attic over the chapel, they built a full-size working glider. Wood from bunk beds provided the skeleton, but something was needed to stiffen the cloth on the wings. A particularly glutinous soup was the answer. Despite finding the soup revolting, the British prisoners couldn't get enough of it. It turns out to be ideal for stiffening the gingham bed sheets used on the wings. Nine British prisoners did escape from Colditz using tunnels, but the glider's maiden flight was interrupted by the end of the war. Although finished in every detail, it never actually flew. The Dutch contingent included Francis Steinmetz. They had their own approach to escape.
Deceiving the German mind with a psychological finesse.
Every day, a group of men are taken out of the castle to exercise. The only hiding place is under an old manhole cover, locked by a steel bolt on the outside. Even if a prisoner could get into the hole undetected, he would be trapped inside by the bolt. So the Dutch make a glass bolt by painting an old aspirin bottle. Their gamble is that the German guards always believe what they expect to see. The Dutch Escape Club select two men, Francis Steinmetz and his friend, Naval Lieutenant Hans Larive, to execute their ingenious plan. Under the watchful eye of the German guards, the men play ball as usual.
On a signal, the yelling mob of players formed a human screen between the manhole and the armed sentries.
Steinmetz and Larive make their move. The players keep the ball in the air to distract the guards, and the men hide in the manhole, replacing the real bolt with a glass one. The escape is on. Two Dutch officers have hidden themselves in a manhole in the Colditz compound. To cover the missing men, their colleagues create a cunning diversion. A man pretends to be escaping through the wire as if following two other men who are already in the woods, and to whom he shouts encouragement. They've pulled off a classic sting.
The Germans would think he was the third man, and two had got out. But in fact, he was still in the manhole. They swallowed it. Search parties were sent out, but of course they found nothing. And this camouflaged our presence in the manhole.
To the Germans, the glass bolt looks like the real thing. The remaining prisoners are marched back to the castle.
We spent 6 hours in the manhole from 3 o'clock in the afternoon until about 9 o'clock in the evening, until it was dark enough to come out.
The glass bolt trick works as planned. As the field is now deserted, the two Dutchmen have no problems climbing over the wire.
I felt a slight apprehension of leaving the sheltered, known world of the POW camp, but that quickly passed and was replaced by joy. We have done it.
The two men run to the nearest railway station. They both speak good German.
We had a beer, which I thought we deserved. And there booked an express train tickets to Nuremberg and Ulm. We had nothing. No identity papers, no travel permits. But by traveling fast, we took the risk that no identity papers would be required on the long-distance train. And our bet came off.
Their journey takes them through the heart of the German Reich, towards Switzerland. 4 days after they left Colditz, the two Dutchmen approach the Swiss frontier on foot, where they meet trouble. The two men become disorientated, but their mad rush to escape the border guard takes them across the frontier. They are free. Soon after they arrive in Switzerland, Hans Larive and Francis Steinmetz have their photograph taken to celebrate their victory.
St. Christopher, the protecting saint of travelers, had been with us. We had made our escape from Colditz.
Despite its reputation, 31 men made successful escapes from Colditz. Franz von Vera's story was made into a movie, The One That Got Away. Inspired by Schaffner's breakout, 8 men staged a second escape from Davao less than a year later. The success of The Wooden Horse and The Great Escape proved that whatever the odds, fighting men will always struggle to regain their freedom.
We're in the Power Zone next here on Discovery Channel, in which we look back to the rise of communist leader Pol Pot, a man who presided over the killing fields. The Red Masters is next.